What's good, people? Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell for me. So, man, fantastic fight. Fantastic fight. Kudos to both guys. Let me just start there. I took some notes down so I'm not just rambling, man. Um, but kudos to both guys. The fight lived up to the hype. Great fight from start to finish. Literally from start to finish, just an action packed fight between two guys who, in my opinion, are both top five heavyweights. Um, but both men should be able to walk away from this fight with their heads held up high. They fought bravely. They put on a show for the fans. People got their money's worth. And just a fantastic night of boxing. But let me get to my notes here. So, obviously, if you don't know, Daniel Dubois stops Fabio Wardley in the 11th round by TKO. Now, we know that Howard Foster has a reputation for stopping fights a bit early, but I had no problem with the stoppage. I thought Wardley had been getting busted up for a while. Dubois' jab was doing great work, but Wardley had been getting busted up for a while. His face was a mess. It was a mask of blood, and after Dubois landed the finishing sequence, it was very obvious that Wardley was in no position to defend himself because he was concussed and because he was just exhausted. So I have no problem with the stoppage. But from the beginning of the fight, Dubois comes out bouncing, gets clipped by a right hand. Wardley throws one right hand, misses, then comes back, throws a second, hits Dubois on the top of the head. Something about Dubois and this zone right here, right? That's where Lorena hit him. That's where Usyk hit him. It's something about the side of the head for Dubois. He's just very, very vulnerable there and goes down. But he never seemed perturbed. He never seemed out of sorts. He seemed to have a face of determination to prove the doubters and the haters wrong and to prove himself right. Like I said, Daniel Dubois has that dog in him. He has that dog in him. He's stronger mentally than a lot of guys want to give him credit for. Again, like I said in the lead up to this fight, Daniel Dubois has already demonstrated that he has that dog in him. Yes, he's demonstrated fragility of the mind, that he's a human being, but he's also demonstrated that he's not afraid of the moment. To me, he seems like a guy who quits when he's frustrated, right? It's almost like the kid who breaks the video game console because he can't win, or someone who throws a Rubik's Cube out the window because they just can't solve it. They can't figure out the yellow cross. For whatever reason, he just can't figure Usyk out. Usyk is just all wrong for him. Styles make fights. But Dubois has always shown a willingness to go to war. He went to war with Big Baby Miller. He went to war with Hrgovic. He smoked AJ, right? And the moment of success AJ had, Dubois didn't panic. He didn't look flustered. Yeah, he was hurt by that right hand AJ hit him with, but he stayed calm, got on the back foot, lured AJ into a trap, and knocked him out with a right hand as AJ got overeager and reckless. So Dubois has shown that he has the ability to remain composed, that he has the ability, to resist the fight or flight urges and instincts, and that he can persevere through adversity. So to all the people who said he was mentally weak, you guys got to eat crow, because I don't know too many heavyweights that have the ability to withstand the fusillade of punches that Fabio was throwing his way. He was throwing heat. Fabio's fast. He's a violent puncher. He's a snappy puncher. And he's a tough dude himself. And Dubois was able to withstand that. So all the people calling him mentally weak have to eat crow. Someone who's mentally weak is Billy Joe Saunders, who talked a lot of noise about Dubois after he got his eye caved in. But when Billy Joe suffered the same injury. Not only did he quit on his stool, he hasn't boxed since in 5 years. That's a weak dude. That's a fragile mind. Daniel Dubois is not a fragile dude. And again, like I said, he's not as dumb as people think he is. He was boxing intelligently, despite the fact that he got clipped twice. He was boxing intelligently. You know, once he got over the knockdowns, he started moving his head more. The jab was money. Daniel Dubois is one of the best jabs in the heavyweight division. Jab was money. What else did I write down, man? Some of my other takeaways. Fabio can come again. Fabio can come again. So we'll briefly touch on that. Fabio is an amazing success story. He's an overachiever. He's a guy who came from a white collar background, you know, basically had a couple boxing matches with Steve from accounting and Rick from IT and decided to go pro. So nothing like Golden Gloves or ABAs like you guys have over the UK, none of the other amateur federations. He didn't compete in any of the major tournaments that most of the top guys have competed in. But here he is, you know, despite all that, here he is. So respect to him. I still consider Fabio to be top 5. I mean, it's not like Daniel Dubois steamrolled him. Fabio gave a very great account of himself. He's arguably the bravest fighter in the heavyweight division. I mean, he just will keep swinging no matter what. When he's hurt, he just keeps swinging. Like, in a street fight, I don't know if anybody could beat Fabio. Fabio is ferocious, absolutely ferocious and violent. He's tough. I hope he improves his defense, though, for his health's sake. I mean, he's still pretty young, so one would imagine that he still has at least 5 to 7 more quality years as a heavyweight. You know, you don't want to see a guy like him become punch drunk because he takes a lot of damage. And I can't remember a fight of his that wasn't damaging. You know, I became hip to Fabio after he fought Nathan Gorman. That's when I started following his career and really keeping up with him. And every fight he's had since then, including the Gorman fight, they've just been wars. So you don't want to see that. You do want him to fight a little bit more intelligently, but then selfishly as a fan, I tune in because I know it's going to be a war. So it's kind of a catch-22. But salute to Fabio. He's a great fighter. I think he can come again. Plenty of matchups for him. Maybe he could fight the winner of Hrgovic, Dave Allen. That's a good fight. I'm assuming Hrgovic is going to win. Dave Allen seems like a nice guy, but just a lovable loser. And I expect Hrgovic to beat him. But whoever wins that fight, it's heavyweight boxing. So if he wins, I'll eat crow. Maybe Fabio could fight the winner of that. Maybe fight the winner of AJ Fury. You know, there are lots of opportunities available to him. And he's only a fight or two away from getting another crack at the title anyway. So respect to Fabio, great performance. What else did I write down? Yeah, man, what does it say about AJ's chin? As an AJ fan, we gotta be honest with ourselves. Big Baby ain't go down. Hrgovic ain't go down. And Fabio, yeah, all of these guys were stopped, but they were stopped on their feet by Dubois. You know, AJ's the only guy who got flatlined. I mean, absolutely flatlined. So you wonder about that spar. That spar must have been horrible because when you go back and watch Dubois Joshua, to me, there's no doubt that AJ had some demons coming into that ring and was just petrified. So it says something about his chin, and it says something about his mental composure under duress. Again, it pains me to say it, but again, I'm not a sycophant. I just call balls and strikes. So, yeah, I don't know about AJ's chin, man. In comparison to the other top heavyweights, it's definitely suspect. That's just the bottom line. All of these guys are able to get stopped on their feet. AJ's getting face planted. can't argue with facts. Can't argue with facts. We do not want to see a Dubois Usyk trilogy. Please, for the love of God, do not run that back. Please. I don't want to see them fight again. Usyk has Dubois' number. It's okay, bro. Some guys just aren't for you. I think Dubois has AJ's number. I honestly don't want to see an AJ Dubois fight, right? AJ rematched all the other guys he lost to, the 2 other guys he lost to, but had no interest in rematching Dubois because I think in the deepest recesses of his mind, he knows he just got to leave that boy alone. And I think it's the same for Dubois and Usyk. But he's just got your number. So there are lots of other guys I'd like to see Dubois in. Maybe Tyson Fury. If somehow AJ finds the courage to fight Dubois if he beats Fury, maybe we see that. Caballero. If Usyk continues to play games, I know that there are reports of negotiations, but I don't believe any of that shit until the fight's signed, there's a press conference, and it's official. Rumors are rumors. I don't really have any interest in reporting on stuff like that because we all know how that goes. We're all in an abusive relationship with this sport as hardcore fans. So we'll see. But maybe he fights Caballero. Maybe he fights Joseph Parker when Parker comes back from his suspension. So some great options for Dubois outside of Usyk. And then what else did I write down? Daniel Dubois, in my opinion, is number 2 in the heavyweight division for sure now. And it kind of puts the division in a weird place because the guy who is the second best heavyweight in the world has already lost to the best heavyweight in the world twice. So and he has the belt. So if Usyk wants to be undisputed again, he has to take it off Dubois. So it's a weird place, but in my opinion, when you compare Dubois' resume to that of Hrgović, who he already beat, Wardley, who he already beat, in my opinion, who are both top 5 or fringe top 5. When you compare it to Joseph Parker's, when you compare it to Fury's, Joshua's, Big Baby's, I don't think anybody has a stronger resume. And to be frank, he's fought more top tier heavyweights than even Usyk. Because Usyk's really only fought 3 top tier guys. Dubois has fought Joshua, Usyk, Wardley. Lorena's not top tier. Who's the other guy? Joe Joyce, right? So Usyk, AJ, Wardley, Joe Joyce, Hrgović, and Big Baby Miller. That's 6 guys who, outside of Joyce and maybe AJ, all of those guys have a solid case for being in the top 10 right now. And all of those guys were legit top 10 heavyweights when he fought them. So as far as heavyweight resumes, I don't think anybody else's really compares. Tyson Fury, his best win is an old Vlad, washed up one-trick pony basketball player who was never any good to begin with and who's been beaten up by everybody since Fury beat him. And after that, it's Dillian White, Steve Cunningham, maybe. His resume is just not that strong. Caballero, Makhmudov. I think in retrospect, Caballero has gotten a little bit too much credit for the Makhmudov win because Makhmudov has kind of shown himself to be a paper tiger, a glass cannon. He's big and strong. He's scary, but very fragile. And in my opinion, physically and mentally and from a stamina perspective. So Makhmudov is not all that to me. Zhilei Zhang, again, in my opinion, a bit overrated because of the Joe Joyce win. It's a spectacular knockout, but Joe Joyce is there to be hit. He literally had his chin on a silver platter for Zhilei Zhang. And Zhang just has horrible stamina. And he's also 40-plus years old. Frank Sanchez, again, good. I've never seen greatness from Frank Sanchez. So for me, just looking at these guys' resumes, thinking about it off the top of my head, I'll do another in-depth video tomorrow, just kind of recapping this win. But to me, you got to put Daniel Dubois as number 2 right now in the world. Fury fans be mad. They're always in the comments. That's the truth. He's the best heavyweight in the UK, and he's the second best heavyweight in the world. That's just a fact. And then finally, man, this fight is a reminder. It's kind of a life thing. Stop trying to box people in. Stop being so quick to dismiss someone because they have shortcomings, because they have flaws. Stop thinking that guys can't improve and get better. And that includes improving your mind. You'd be surprised what you can do when you really focus on trying to strengthen your mind, when you have more discipline, when you try to confront your fears and your anxieties. You'd be surprised what you can do with your mind. The mind, even as you age as an adult, is a very malleable organ. And if you are doing the right things with your mind and stimulating it in a positive manner, you'd be surprised what you can get out of it. So kudos to Daniel Dubois. Chapeau to him. He really proved a lot of people wrong. He proved me right. I wish I gambled, but I don't anymore. I gave that up. But he really showed that you can persevere. You can overcome setbacks. You can overcome personal demons. You can overcome anxiety, fear, doubt, self-loathing, all of that, you know. And regardless of what people think about where he is or is not on the spectrum, you can overcome even some mental and physical disability. So I think as boxing fans and as people in general, we got to stop writing guys off because they have a setback or they show a moment of weakness. They show a moment of humanity, like all of us have done in our lives, you know. So stop being so quick to judge guys and label them and get on your high horse and be sanctimonious and act as if you don't have some weaknesses and fragility of your own. But that's all it for now, guys. I'll let you guys debate in the comments about my thoughts, but please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for me. I really appreciate it. Peace.